Hi Year 9, hope all of you are well and healthy. Welcome to this video tutorial, which is a continuation of all of the online lessons that you've been doing. And this lesson is called La Vie Saine, Healthy Life. So we're consolidating a lot of your learning over the last few lessons to try and bring everything together and to give you an understanding of how it all fits into the big picture. Now, our learning today is in 3 parts. So you're watching the video tutorial now, which is one part of it, but that goes alongside the work pack. So everything we do in the video today will be best if you have your work pack alongside you to have a go at the activities. And also you should follow it up by completing the quiz. The code for the quiz can be found on the e-learning website. Now, today we're going to go through describing our healthy life, as I've just said, and we're going to use some key verbs using je. So, je prends, je bois, je joue, je fais, and also some time phrases which you will know: jamais, never, souvent, often, quelquefois, sometimes. We're hoping to understand how to describe what you do to be healthy as a general rule, and we're going to focus that on reading skills, sain ou malsain, speaking skills, role play, and developing some independence as well. Before we get started on our learning for today, though, I just want to say a big well done to all of you who've sent in work to the French teacher email address or to your individual French teachers. We've been really pleased with the work that's come in, and it's always great to hear from you. So thank you for those of you particularly who watched the video before doing the quiz, because that really made a difference to those who got the answers right or wrong. It's quite hard to do well in the quiz unless you do watch the video first, so well done. And some really good use of the vocabulary from the work packs. The next thing for us to look at is making sure that we know which of the sports are masculine or feminine, and that we change the either au or de to match that. So je joue au rugby because rugby is masculine, or je fais de la natation because natation is feminine. Okay, let's get started on our first activity. So this is a revision of some present tense verbs, and the first thing I'm just asking you to do is match up the English and the French. So we've got je prends, je mange, je suis, je bois, je fais, and je vais. So je prends means I take. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is pause the video and have a go at the other 5 phrases which are on the list. So hopefully you should have had a good go at those 5 now. So going through the answers, we've got je prends, I take, je mange, I eat, je suis, I am, which you should know, but it also means I follow. Je bois, I drink, je fais, I do, and je vais, I go. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is the next activity on your work pack, where you're choosing the endings of the sentence which are most appropriate. So if we take number 1 as an example, je prends, we know that that means I take. Now I need to look down the 6 phrases on the right hand side there. So de la musculation is weightlifting to do with muscles. 2 ou 3 litres d'eau par jour, 2 or 3 litres of water a day. Au gymnase tous les jours, beaucoup de fruits et de légumes, des vitamines chaque jour, or une bonne alimentation. So I take, looking at that list, we'll go with des vitamines chaque jour. So I take vitamins each day or every day. So I'm going to ask you now to match up the other 5 ends of the sentences with those key verbs. So you should pause the video here and have a go at doing that. Okay, so if we go through the answers then from that second part, je vais, I go, au gymnase tous les jours, so 2 and C. Je fais, I do, de la musculation, weightlifting, so 3 and A. Je suis, remember that means I am or I follow, so that's matched with une bonne alimentation, a good diet, a good food regime. Number 5, je bois, goes with B, 2 ou 3 litres d'eau par jour, 2 or 3 litres of water a day. And number 6, je mange beaucoup de fruits et de légumes. So 6 and D, I eat lots of fruit and vegetables. Now, before we move on to the next part of the work pack, I just want to spend a moment reminding you of how negatives work in French. So on a very, very basic level, we can think about it as a sandwich. So in French, je mange means I eat. If I want to say I don't eat, we need to wrap that key verb, mange, like a sandwich, 2 slices of bread with the negatives ne and pas. Je ne mange pas, I do not eat. That equally works with other negative phrases like jamais, which means never. Je ne bois jamais, I never drink. And that means you need to put 2 negative phrases either side of your main verb in order to communicate that negative message. Now, if you need a little bit more practice on this, I'd recommend going to this website on BBC Bitesize. The link can be found on the e-learning website to go to that. And I suggest just going through the tutorial on there, reminding yourself a little bit of how we use negatives in French. Okay, so exercise 2 is where we're going to be looking at some sentences in a reading activity. So your task is either to write sain, healthy, or malsain, unhealthy, next to each of the phrases. So if we take number 1 as an example, je bois beaucoup d'eau chaque jour. I drink lots of water each day. So I would say that's a fairly healthy thing. So next to that, you will need to write sain, which means healthy. So each of these has a verb. I've underlined je bois. The thing, eau, water, I've circled that. And then I've put a box around the time phrase, in this case chaque jour, because that will help me understand the sentence with clarity. Now I want you to have a go at all 10 of those sentences. And also I've given a challenge there for those of you who want to have a go at a challenge to translate each of the sentences into French. At the end of this video, I'll go through the answers to this activity, but I want you to have a go on your own first of all. Now in that activity, there were lots of time phrases, and I'm just going to go through now what they all mean. My suggestion would be that you annotate them on your work pack so that you know what they mean, or even better, keep a list of them that you can add to your vocab book once you're back in school. So 3 fois par semaine, 3 times a week. So you can see the key word there, 3 fois times, par semaine, per week, a week. Jamais, never. Chaque mois, each month. Chaque repas, each meal. Chaque jour, each day. Une fois par an, 1 time per year, or we'd say once a year. Souvent, often. Tous les jours, every day. And une fois par mois, 1 time per month, or we'd say once a month. Now I'd like you to practice your application of these time phrases now into a reading activity. So you're going to go through each of these 10 sentences and note down the activity in the first column, followed by the frequency time phrase in the final column. So if we take number 1 as an example, je mange un fruit 2 fois par jour. Je mange un fruit 2 fois par jour. So I eat fruit twice a day. You're going to go through the rest of the 10 sentences now and have a go at completing those 2 columns of the work pack on your own. Okay, we're moving now on to exercise 4, which is a translation task. And I'm hoping that there'll be parts of this which are really straightforward based on your learning so far in this video tutorial, but also some parts where you need to think, and there will be some keywords that you're not sure on, and that's fine. My suggestion in that case would be either that you use your judgment and your understanding of the French and you make a sensible guess. And that's what we'd ask you to do in exams, for example. Or if you would prefer, you can look up some of those keywords on www.wordreference.com. That's the website we've been referring to during the work pack and the video tutorials if you want to look up individual words that you're not sure on. So if we do number 1 together, je prends des vitamines, I take vitamins, because c'est bon pour la peau. Now, it is good for, what are vitamins good for? Now, they're good for a lot of things, aren't they? But peau means skin. So you can use that now to do the translation in your work pack and also have a go at the other 5 sentences. Now, the answers to this activity and the previous activity will be at the end of the video for you to go through and check your answers, but have a go now on your own at translating these sentences. Okay, exercise 5, year 9, is a task which is going to help to prepare you for your GCSE speaking exam. So you will have seen this task very, very briefly in year 9, but I'm going to talk you through now what you need to do. So you will see there's 4 bullet points and they're not worded in sentences, which is one of the hardest parts of these role plays. So what you need to do is work out what the keywords mean. So I would annotate them here. And then I'll show you in a modelled example what you need to do. So the first bullet point, exercice, exercise, dash, quand, and then a question mark. So quand means when. So you need to write a sentence which explains when you do exercise. For example, I do exercise every weekend. The second bullet point, manger, quoi, to eat, what, question mark. So you need to say, what do you eat? I eat fruit and vegetables to be healthy, for example. Now, the third bullet point starts with a question mark. Now, that means that you need to ask a question. So you need to ask the examiner or your teacher a question which is asking them about their opinion on sport. And then finally, you need to give a statement which is du café, coffee, ton opinion, your opinion. So you need to give your opinion on coffee. So for example, I think that coffee is delicious, or I think that coffee is disgusting. Now, my waggle is here for you to have a look at. So the first one, exercise when. My example is je joue au foot chaque jour avec mes amis car c'est bon pour la santé. I play football each day with my friends because it's good for your health. You can see my modelled answers there and I'll let you have a look through them in your own time. And now I want you to have a go at preparing your own bullet points for this activity. You'll notice that they don't need to be long, they can be straightforward and short for this part of the exam, and this is just a practice of applying some of those skills now. You can do it on line paper or on your work pack and be ready to take a picture to send to your French teacher. Okay, year 9, you've made it to the final activity, which is excellent. It means you've been working really, really hard on your French during this video tutorial, so well done from me. I'm going to finish this video tutorial with a question, which is qu'est-ce que tu fais pour rester en forme? What do you do to stay in shape? And I'm going to ask you to write around 30 words about that to practice your writing. Now, in all of this, I would encourage you to go back to the vocabulary in the first sentences we looked at, where we were matching up verbs and sentences, and use those and take those to put your answer together. You can see that I've given you a waggle there as well, which I'll go through now. So there's some sentence starters and some connectives in here which you can definitely use in your version. So pour rester en forme, to stay in shape. J'aime faire du vélo. I like to do cycling avec ma famille, with my family. C'est mon sport préféré. It's my favourite sport. Et je pense que c'est très énergétique. And I think that it's very energetic. En plus, furthermore, je crois que faire du exercice est essentiel pour le corps. Furthermore, I believe that doing exercise is essential for your heart et pour la respiration and for breathing. Finalement, je bois au moins 2 litres d'eau par jour. Finally, I drink at least 2 litres of water each day parce que c'est bon pour la peau, because it's good for your skin. as I said, use the example there to help you to put your own version together to send to your teacher. Now, well done Year 9 for coming to the end of the video tutorial. I'm going to go through some answers with you now in the last part of this for you to check your work. So here's your exercise 2 reading. You can pause the video here to check your answers on your work pack. Here's your answers to the reading activity. Again, you can pause your video here. And here are the answers to the translation task, and you can pause the video here. Well done Year 9, and make sure you go now to the quiz to complete that to send to your teachers.